Let me start by sharing the obvious, the stuff that every single parent out there experiences to some degree. Parenting a child is one of the most intense and heart-tugging experiences of our lives. On the one hand, there is the intellectual understanding of being a parent. And then there is the raw instinctual element that suddenly arises from the depths of our genes. But sometimes dealing with your child can be downright difficult and completely draining. At times they don't listen or respect you, or they don't behave when asked, or they throw tantrums that may leave you feeling bitter, angry, and even sometimes embarrassed. Sometimes these behaviors bring out parts of ourselves that we didn't know existed, and then feel incredibly guilty afterwards. I have not come across a single parent who has not experienced these emotions in some form or another. But here are some things that we have not really looked at or understood well. How much time are we wasting by struggling to get cooperation from our children? Can you take a calculated guess as to how much that might be in your home? It's not that easy to calculate because it is so theoretical, right? So here is another way I have calculated that figure. I interviewed hundreds of parents after they learned some really great cooperation skills and asked them how much time they were now saving.
The questions that you gave us, I actually measured it this week in how much time I saved on a daily basis. So in total, 80 minutes a day. 80?
Wow.
So the morning routine, 20 minutes. Leaving school in the afternoon, which sometimes we'd still be here like come 2:30 and I can't get the kids to leave to go home. Save 20 minutes there. Now at 1:30 we're in the car. Tidying up before bed, another 20 minutes. And this week in particular, since you sent the email, just reading through the notes on resolving conflict, another 20 minutes.
Wow.
So I've had 3 burnt suppers this week, but I've saved 20 minutes a day in, I'd say, resolving conflict and just being there and, listening to them and reflecting back. So,
That's 80 minutes a day. That's quite a lot, eh?
I mean, we waking up later and leaving and we at school on time. It's
I like that.
Yeah. That really works.
Who here would like another 80 minutes?
I'd love it.
That's an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
I could say with both my children almost 3 hours a day. But it saves definitely time, but it also makes doing simple things enjoyable. I can go to the shops with my children, whereas before I'd leave them with someone. I'd leave them with my dad or a carer because it would be too awkward, there would be too many fights, and now we can go to the shops and we can have a great time.
Now this is per day. So let's just be safe and take a conservative amount. Just think about all those situations. Getting them up in the morning, dressed, fed, getting them into the car, taking them to school, collecting them from school, getting their homework done, getting them to eat dinner, getting them bathed, getting them into bed, getting them to sleep. So let's just say between 40 or 50 minutes is quite likely, right? So imagine saving 45 minutes each and every day. That would be 22 hours of extra time for you every month. And that would be an extra 270 hours in a year. And if a day for you is about 15 hours long, that's an 18-day holiday for you every year. And this is a fairly conservative calculation. What could you do with an extra 18 days holiday of time every year? And this does not even take into account the added benefit that both you and your kid are feeling happier because there's less shouting and punishing. But maybe you would like more money instead of just more time. So let's take our conservative average of 45 minutes of time now saved per day. Wikipedia calculates that the average middle-class income in the United States of America is roughly $40,000 per year, or about $3,300 per month. So very roughly, that means that if a person works 21 days in a month for about 7 hours per day, then they are working for about 8,820 minutes per month to earn that $3,300 monthly salary. So they earn about $0.38 per minute of their time. If you knew how to get your children to cooperate and this saved you time, you could spend that extra time in earning extra money. And at about 38 US cents per minute, and you saved 45 minutes per day, that's an extra $510 per month, or about $6,100 per year. And if you did this for 20 years until your children left home, that's over $122,000. But that's not all. If you invest that money carefully, for example, the average global growth rate is apparently 10% on investments, then compounded over a 20-year period, you would be creating a massive $387,000. Now, that's time and money you may be leaving on the table. And remember, we are not even talking about the positive emotional well-being of your children. But while we are still on the topic of time and money, meet Jane and John. They love their kids a lot, but sometimes everyday parenting is downright exhausting for them. They know they are not alone in this. They can see it in their friends as well. All around them, they see children becoming more demanding, more cheeky, and do not behave when asked. And this can be very problematic, tiring, and extremely time-consuming. Even the school teachers are complaining that things are getting worse and academic results are dropping because of it. This leads to headaches, frustration, exhaustion, and sometimes Jane and her husband have big fights about how they parent differently. In fact, they are close to becoming a statistic that 1 in 4 divorces are caused by conflicting parenting styles. But what they also realize is that in the morning, when they leave home rushed and tired from parenting, they can feel how this spills over and causes havoc in their other relationships, and even their energy at work decreases. John knows deep down that this is costing him time and money. In fact, he even made an incredibly costly decision the other day because he was not thinking clearly after a rough morning at home. There are many times when the challenges of parenting spill over into our work and actually cost us time and money there as well. But because this is so difficult to measure and quantify, it's not something that we really are aware of. But maybe you can see how this impacts you in your life. Maybe you can see that there is a cost to you in time and in energy and in money in not knowing some of the skills that could create such a breakthrough for you. This is the modern day parenting crisis we are moving into. There's a cost to our happiness, and there is a monetary cost to this as well. And of course, we can see that our children are needing something else from us. We want them to be happy, to be successful, but at times we are not quite sure how to get there.